Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's daily news time. We've got 3 pieces of news.
Proper news?
Actually, 4. I'm going to move 4. And 3 of them are transfer related, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of good transfer story.
Yeah.
Are any of them left backs? Yeah!
As I say, proper transfer news, not like yesterday where we just character assassinated Alberto Moreno for a bit. Yeah, let's get stuck into it. Let's do the least interesting of them first. Lucas Leiva being linked with a move to Inter Milan. Now, his move to Galatasaray collapsed last week. They tweeted that out as well. The Lucas one's a weird one, isn't it? Because it doesn't look like he's really got a place in the squad as such. So it makes you wonder why a move hasn't been boxed off by this point.
I think Klopp came out a couple of weeks ago, in fairness, when you were away, mate, that he'd basically said he needed to see how the injuries pan out and all that type of stuff to decide whether he'd let Lucas go. Yeah. And I think that's what he's doing, isn't it? You know, I think Lucas has wanted the move because he's not been guaranteed first team football. I think that's pretty much obvious. I think he was told last season to stick around for another year, wasn't he, to see if he'd get the game time and stuff by Rodgers initially, and then obviously Klopp in the January transfer window. But yeah, I think we've assessed, we've seen where we're up to. I think we will only let Lucas go if we are certain we're going to get somebody else in that maybe a slightly defensive midfielder type position or more cover at centre-back.
Yeah, I think the thing on the Lucas stuff is that, and we've talked about this already, but in the first half against Arsenal, I was like, we could really do with someone whose primary position is a defensive midfielder, because I think Henderson's wasted there. Emre Can will do that. And then, like, always making the case for Kev Stewart and what have you. And I really like Kev Stewart. I think he's come on leaps and bounds just this summer alone. But I would prefer someone a bit more, I don't know, someone more senior in that. But ultimately, that position is going to be a guy who's probably going to if he's going to make 5 starts this season, that would be a lot of starts for that guy in that position. He'll probably make a grand total of about 12 appearances all season. So therefore, you can't go out and buy someone for £30 million.
You're not getting a Kante, are you, in?
Exactly. So, you know, you're looking at someone who's we're going to need to fill that role. And do we have that in? Let's say we don't go and buy anyone else, and we are linked with someone. We'll come to that in a moment. You're looking at Lucas or Stewart, and you're probably saying Kev Stewart probably would be fine for his development for one more season at Liverpool, and then you maybe move him on next year. Lucas Leiva, I think it's between Leiva and him. Lucas probably deserves football at this time in his career.
I think that's, and look, when it comes down to it, I think that's what Lucas wants as well. I think Klopp would be very happy to keep Lucas around the squad, but the guy's been an utter professional for us. Yeah. He's not run his mouth off in the media about being held against his wishes or anything like that, even though it's been obvious for over a year now that he's wanted to move elsewhere to get game time. I wish anyone when they want to do that, when they want to move for footballing reasons, whoever they are, whether they're the best player in the club or the worst player in the club, if they're moving for footballing reasons, fair play to them, because I respect that.
What about when Fernando Torres moved to Chelsea?
He's a cunt. That wasn't there was no upside on that move as far as I could see it at the time, because we were so close. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So let's know on Lucas Inter Milan. To be fair, players just seem to end up in Turkey, and I don't follow Turkish football in any way, shape or form.
You wouldn't want to be moving to Turkey right now, would you, Paul, in fairness?
I own a Fenerbahce shirt, and I own a Galatasaray shirt or two from back in the day, but I wouldn't say...
It's not just safekeeping if you ever go there and all that. I want to use, it's fine.
No. Dangerous, because particularly if you go anywhere near Istanbul, because there's 4 teams, you can't please anyone. So I wore a Fenerbahce shirt when I was flying back
Stitched them together?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The old half and half scarf technique.
Stitch out Liverpool, Everton, Man United and Man City shirts together and see how much of your head gets kicked in at Manchester Airport. But yeah, you go to Dalaman Airport and like you'll go through security and there'll be a Fenerbahce fan. They'll be like, hey! And then the person doing the scanning's a Galatasaray fan and they want to shove it up your ass. And then you get to the gate and they support Besiktas and they want to knock you out. And you know what I mean?
In that instance, you need to be wearing a Liverpool shirt, because you fly through the first 2 and the Besiktas guy's not happy, but the other 2 will back it up, because they were made up when we beat them 8-0.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Didn't think that through at the time. Just kind of like the Fenerbahce shirt I bought. Guiza on the back. Anyway, I want to say I'd rather see Lucas go to a big a big established football club like Inter Milan. I think he deserves that ultimately.
He does.
Yeah. Actually, I think this follows on quite nicely. We are being linked. Apparently, we've had a move, a 4 million, I think it was. I saw a bid rejected for Gary Medel.
I didn't know 4 million because every article that I've read hasn't disclosed it. So 4 million.
Maybe I've just made that up. I don't know where that come from. I don't know why I would say 4 million if I had not seen it somewhere. But either way, it's not going to cost us a lot of. I don't think it's going to be a big. I mean, Inter paid 10 million for him 2 years ago. He's 29 now. Don't know whether that is a factor. Yeah, but either way, put the money to one side. We've spent the summer, you said this to me in the office, spent the summer trying to put some big lads. Medel is 5'7.5". That's not big. No. That's average woman sized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's barrel shaped too, isn't he?
He is. Go on, what was your description?
I basically said, you know the old game where you used to stick the swords in the pirate? That's Gary Medel.
Pop-up pirate.
Pop-up pirate. He did tell me what it was before when I said that, in exactly the same fashion. Yeah. That's what he looks like.
He looks like pop-up pirate, including the barrel.
Yeah. Look, he's a defensive mid, isn't he, who can also play centre-back and has played centre-back. I think he's played centre-back for Chile, actually. They've obviously won the last 2 Copa Americas, so he's won both Copa Americas and stuff, playing centre-back. He's not the type of guy you want at centre-back in the Premier League, I don't think. When he was at Cardiff and he played defensive mid, he played very well against us in the game at Anfield. I remember him being a standout performer. He had 1 season of Premier League experience, 13-14, wasn't it? Got his move to Inter Milan, but came from a good emerging Sevilla side as well, which a lot of people forget. So maybe he's looked down upon in the Premier League, but I think around Europe he's looked as a good player.
You could see the headlines, and all the scumbag media outlets would be like, "Oh, ex-Cardiff player Medel," in that voice, in print, and people would look down at it a little bit. And again, if he's the kind of signing that if we brought him in at the start of the window, you'd be like, what the fuck are we doing here? But if you brought him in as him and a left back, say, or whatever, you brought a couple of pieces of business to wrap the window up, kind of be fine with that. Again, it comes back to it. He's gnarly, isn't he?
Yes, he got a bit of needle to his game.
Yeah, he enjoys kicking people. He's a Mascherano light in that regard.
No,
he's just like
Mascherano heavy. He's much heavier than Mascherano.
Yeah.
Light in ability.
Yeah, he is, but you know what I mean. He is that. He's just a professional. He does that job. And as we said earlier, he's not the kind of guy. He's not like you go and buy N'Golo Kante and expect him to play 40 games a season. You bring him in, and he probably would be accepting of his role
with a little bit of a point to prove, because I think footballers don't like leaving countries with a bad reputation. I think Medel will have been looked down on in the media, and as I say, in world football he's probably looked upon in a much more favourable light.
Fabio Coentrao being linked as well.
Excites
on
me.
Loan.
But this excites me because he's just a big name at the end of the day. And look, he's had so many injury problems over the last few years.
What we've been lacking for a season now. Well, not even a season, for several months.
Is a left back. He gets injured
an
all the time.
injury-prone left back, Chris.
With a fucking left peg on him, in fairness,
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Great deliverer of the ball. His crossing was outstanding. Euro 2012, he just lit it up, and for me, he was the player of the tournament. I know he might have been second best player in the tournament voted for at the time. I seem to remember. That's off the top of my head. Don't take that as gospel in any way, shape or form.
Google it. Find out if he's right. Let us know in the comments.
The one thing that worries me slightly is, as I say, he's had 12 injuries in the last 6 years, 4 of which have been hamstring injuries. He's currently out at the minute with a hamstring injury that turned into thigh surgery for him. He went out in April, and it was like a projected 3 to 6 months out, so he's not even fit, he's injured, and it's probably likely that it's going to be September.
So fuck that then.
Well, look, maybe not. I think there are a lot of cons with him, but the pros are Zizou came out last week and was talking to Marca, which is like the mouthpiece of Real Madrid, isn't it? The newspaper over there, and was talking about how they need a backup for Marcelo, and he trusts that Coentrao is that man. There's no one in the market better suited to be that backup. If Zidane thinks that, then it could be an option for us. Whether we're going to get him or not, I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because He was out on loan at Monaco last season. I actually don't know when he went on loan. Whether it was the start, whether it was Rafa who would have sent him out on loan, or whether he went out on loan under Zidane. But he is one of those. He's been linked for a couple of years, hasn't he? He was linked to United a couple of years ago that never came through right at the I think that was like right at the death of the transfer window. Yeah. He's been linked with us a few times in the past. I think
still only 28.
Yeah,
been around a long time.
Yeah, but it's though, you know, if you've been injury prone, injury problems don't fix at 28. You know what I mean? If you're injury prone as a kid, you can get over that. But I think he tends to suggest that there's only so many miles on the clock.
I was looking into it, and I told you before, like up in the office, the best injury that he's had was last season, where he was off for basically a month with a wound. It's a cut.
The last time I've seen a wound was when Jamie Carragher snapped Nanny.
Yeah, that was a wound.
Like Wayne Rooney in his head. That was a wound. It was a gash, actually. It was a gash.
A bit more of a gash than a wound.
And we've seen plenty of... Anyway. I'd be interested to know people's thoughts on either of those transfers. Would they, if Liverpool round up their transfer business with Gary Medel and Fabio Coentrao, or particularly the last one on loan, would that represent a nice round of transfer window that solve all of our problems? Last piece of news, it was announced today. Liverpool are an official partner of Pro Evo 2017. You've got no idea how happy this makes me. There's a poster up at the office from PES 2009, which was, I think that was the last time Liverpool were a licensed team on that, and we had Fernando Torres. It's just great. I love a bit of Merseyside red, I'll be honest. But I prefer it when Liverpool are licensed and they've got the pictures in the main stand and all that. Looks terrific. And look, there'll be people going, it's not FIFA. Fuck him. Oh my God. Just whatever, man. Liverpool will still be licensed on FIFA, but there's only ever like 2 licensed Premier League teams on the Pro Evo ones, and the fact that it's Liverpool means that you're going to have to learn to love Pro Evo this season, Redmen fans, because that's what we're going to be playing. And we've actually got some cool stuff lined up with that, which makes it even easier when the season starts as well. There might be some Redmen kits. Just saying that they're fucking fantastic. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on all of that. All your FIFA fanboys, if you want to just blurt your anger out into the comments section, by all means do it. FIFA's fine. You just don't understand. But let us know, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and check out the redmentv.com for some fantastic, extended, brilliant Liverpool content this week.